The death of Breonna Taylor will once again show us how our justice system, or should I say our injustice system in America, is not set up for us so-called African Americans to thrive. It's more in place to keep African Americans compliant and in bondage. Liberty and justice for who? Not for my people, because that's what America and the whole world gets to witness time after time, and it's just really frustrating. And I just have to say, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
Everybody knows if you don't break the law, then you don't gotta worry about being shot by the police, you fucking libtards. So when they come for you in the middle of the night and they shoot your home full of holes, like maybe 20 times, so you're dead, it's because, I don't know, you were a 26-year-old EMT named Breonna Taylor. You know, I Googled white woman shot in her home by police USA, and I found one, other than Waco. Here are all the names of black female American citizens shot in their own homes by their own law enforcement that I could find in 30 minutes. Equal laws, equal protections, right? So please join me. Say her name, y'all. Breonna Taylor.
A Kentucky grand jury decided not to indict 3 police officers for the shooting death of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor. One officer was charged, but it was not because of the death of Breonna Taylor. And soon after that, riots erupted throughout the country.
As we come on the air, protesters and police are clashing there. The National Guard is on alert, and the city is under a mandatory curfew after a grand jury decided not to indict 3 police officers in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. The 26-year-old emergency room technician was shot 6 times in her apartment back in March by plainclothes police serving a drug warrant. Well, today, Kentucky's Attorney General said 2 of the officers were justified when they fired the shots that killed her. Now, a 3rd officer will face lesser charges, not for Taylor's death, but for firing shots into her neighbors' homes. The killing of Breonna Taylor gained renewed attention this summer in the wake of George Floyd's death, as cries of "Say Her Name" became part of a nationwide movement for social justice and police reform. She's graced the cover of O magazine, and her cause was championed by athletes and celebrities. And tonight, there is once again anger and frustration on the streets of Louisville from those who feel justice has not been done. There's a lot of new reporting to get to tonight. We've got our team of correspondents standing by. CBS's Joyka Duncan is going to lead us off tonight from Louisville. Good evening, Joyka.
Good evening, Nora. As the news spread, the number of demonstrators here at Jefferson Park grew. You can hear them chanting right now, Black Lives Matter. Many of them said that the moment they realized that no officer was going to be charged directly with the killing of Breonna Taylor, tears were shed, voices raised. There was a wave of palpable disappointment. This is why we are angry.
Immediately after the decision was announced, there was an explosion of emotion.
We've been out here for over 100+ days. This is ridiculous. It's not fair. At the end of the day, how much is a black woman's life worth?
Demonstrators took to the streets. Late this afternoon, protesters clashed with police. As the chanting continued in Louisville, 50 miles away in Frankfort, Kentucky, Attorney General Daniel Cameron said he followed the facts.
Sometimes the criminal law is not adequate to respond to a tragedy.
The grand jury concluded former officer Brett Hankison, who wildly fired 10 shots, endangered the lives of 3 people who were inside an apartment near Breonna Taylor's. Officers Jonathan Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, who fired the fatal shot at Taylor, will not face state criminal charges.
According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
Taylor was killed in the early morning hours of March 13th as police were executing a search warrant. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, says he believed the police were intruders. He fired a single shot that hit Mattingly. Police then returned fire, hitting Taylor 6 times.
Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend.
Taylor's family attorney, Ben Crum, called the decision outrageous and offensive.
A life cut far too short. A life pregnant with possibilities.
Today's decision means no one will face state charges in Breonna Taylor's death, a fact that is fueling the crowd's response.
So many that are at home right now, minding their own business, and right now our police could storm through their doors and murder them. That wanton endangerment was about her neighbors. That was not about Breonna Taylor.
CBS News has learned that one officer who was charged was released tonight on $15,000 bail. Some protesters have been arrested, but this is not over. The FBI is still investigating the shooting for possible civil rights violations, but the conclusion of that investigation could take months.
Authorities said 2 officers had been shot Wednesday night during a demonstration expressing anger over the death of black people at the hands of police officers. Chief Roberts said both of the officers suffered no life-threatening injuries and are in stable condition, but one is undergoing surgery right now as we speak.
Police chief in Louisville saying 2 of their officers were shot tonight when responding to another shooting in the area where a large group was gathering. Now, both of those officers are expected to survive, and police say a suspect is in custody. This as people take to the streets throughout the country tonight. Marchers taking to the streets in New York City, Philadelphia, D.C., and Breonna Taylor's hometown of Louisville, following the decision not to charge the 3 officers for her death. State police in Kentucky lining the streets. The governor issuing a 9 p.m. curfew. Law enforcement vehicles seen blocking off streets in the downtown area.
Officer down, right there.
Taylor, who worked as an EMT, was killed inside of her apartment 6 months ago while officers served a search warrant. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron announcing an indictment handed up by a grand jury, charging now fired officer Brett Hankinson with 3 counts of reckless endangerment for firing his weapon near other apartment units, but said the shooting of Taylor was justified since officers were fired upon first.
The decision before my office as the special prosecutor in this case was not to decide if the loss of Miss Taylor's life was a tragedy. The answer to that question is unequivocally yes.
Kentucky's Attorney General warning those who commit violence in the streets will face charges if caught. Her family and their attorney saying the justice system failed.
She's in the sanctity of her home, the place where you are expected to be safe.
And again, both officers are in stable condition. President Trump tweeted moments ago saying he has spoken to the governor of Kentucky and is ready to offer federal resources if requested.
Here's a video giving you insightful and different perspective on the situation, and it's really telling you guys how we're just being pawns in a bigger game that's just being played for politics, and how Trump is going to benefit from all these riotings and looting and things that's going on. So you guys go out and vote and enjoy this video.
This is what they call political theater. Look at the timing of this. This is so coordinated. This is like a little trump card, pardon the pun, that the Republicans are about to play, because it's going to cause chaos. People are going to protest all around the country, and that is going to be the main focus. Not COVID, not the Supreme Court decision. This. I've called this. I said this was going to happen. This is not good. Y'all need to stay your butts at home and go out and vote when we can. Protest after. This is not good. So let me be clear. The Trump administration would prefer to see rioting and looting in the street before this election cycle. Would prefer it. Go vote. Stay strong.
These are really sad times we're in right now, where you're not even safe in your own home, and it's really not cool out here, and there's a lot of things going on, riots, and I just see a civil war coming soon. Hopefully not, but hey, look at how things are going and progressing. I don't see nothing less but that happening at the end. And I hope you guys are more sympathetic and try to understand the other side and stop being bigots and racists. And I'm not a racist just because I speak up for my people, because you do the same. Should I call you a racist? Exactly.